Well, hello, Johnny Fowler fans, and today on the bench is an O-gauge classic. I think this is pre-war era American Flyer, which is has been sent to me by a very good friend of mine to work on and get it up and running. And I felt squirrely enough after working on a couple of Lionel trains, just kind of the side, to try this one out. But man, this is I don't think I appreciated just how pretty these engines really are. So this is a classic O-gauge engine, which is very much unlike any of the other engines that I've worked on here. But you can see the construction of these is very tidy, and it's just, it's going to take a little bit of work, but I think I can get this this thing going here. So I'm going to take a little bit of time. I'm going to just slowly take it apart. I'll take some videos here, and I'll push them up, and we'll see if we can't get at least a solid video of the deconstruction process of this thing. And, wish me luck. Okay, so this is the bottom line, I guess, once you've taken it all apart. This is the engine itself, and it really isn't that much different from the Lionel that I've put together. You've got the basics are actually pretty much the same as just about any other electric engine. What you've got is a armature that spins here, and if I can get it to spin a little bit, it'll spin the wheels, which is surrounded by a magnetic field. These are your contacts. These work a lot like the springs in the front end, or I guess the back end of your Flyer, that put electricity through these two points here. So this is kind of your throughput, and it at different, I guess, times will electrify certain parts, certain coils here. Gosh, it's really hard to see, isn't it? Off your armature here, which attracts and repels at certain points of your field here, which causes the engine to spin. So it isn't that much different, and it really, looks a lot like the Lionel, which shouldn't be all that surprising since Gilbert was at this point in time in competition with the Lionel company. So just some interesting things that I do. So you may notice this this little plastic thing here. Now, I was in the market for a I guess a holder, as it were, for engines as I worked on them, and a lot of these places that you can buy hobby shop stuff, they want $40-50 for I guess I don't even know what to call this. Is sort of this foam sponge stuff as a means of protecting the engines and the outside of it as you work on it, so you're not banging it against the table here. As I knock my stuff over, good thing I'm got all that put away. I picked this up from the dollar store for $1, and what it is it's just kind of a kickboard, but it has this nice little divot in it, and it holds it very nicely. And I'm going to keep on working on it. I think what I'm going to do is just kind of cut it so that it's square. But this does the trick, and it also has the side effect of protecting the engine itself. So I've used it now on this one. I used it on one other one that I've been just doing some basic maintenance on, and this thing works. And so this over here you may recognize is a laundry, I guess, cup measure. Of course, laundry companies are not, or laundry detergent companies are nice enough to give you one brand new one every time you buy a new cup of laundry detergent. So I've got enough of those. This is another dollar store find, which is fantastic. It helps me to separate every little piece, and what I do is I know where everything is because I take pictures of everything, and then in sections I take them off and separate the screws appropriate to kind of where they are. So this obviously is kind of on the side, and your linkage here, this whole piece comes together. This goes in the rear of the engine. This is your weight and the two screws that affix it, so on and so forth. So good ways of arranging your stuff for very cheap. So just a little pitch there for you don't have to spend hundreds of dollars on equipment to do this stuff. It can be done on the cheap. I'm not what you might call a wealthy guy, so I do this relatively cheap, but I like to do it professionally, and I hate losing screws. And so between my little laundry cups and my tool organizer, I do a pretty good job here of keeping it. And I also put them in rather larger bins, and you can kind of see my My workbench here, I've got 4 or 5 just sort of on the table here that are in varying states of repair and waiting for other parts, or for me to get off my tailbone and get them done. So anyway, this is where this is. I don't think I can, with both hands, show you the video here, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this whole thing off and clean the plate, just with the standard maintenance. See if I can't get this to turn and to spin, and get some things going. And I'll take a video if it works. So wish me luck. Okay, so that was the test on the track, and man, it really does run well. You know, a lot of these engines just take a little bit of cleanup, which means you just kind of have to understand how they work. And when you do, they want to function for you. They're very simple engines, but all it takes is just an understanding of how electricity, in this case alternating current, passes through an engine. So very stoked about this. I'll get it back together and we'll do one more test, and that should do it for this. Okay, so that was the test, and now it's back on the bench. And we'll get to work on putting her back together. Here's the body right here. Unfortunately, again, I just don't have the ability to take videos and hold the camera at the same time. Sorry, I'm working on that. I'm going to get myself a tripod, and then I might be able to kind of video some of these things. But overall, I'm very happy with the way it's running right now. So my friend, the owner, is not interested in a restore of this, so no painting or any of that is going to be done here. I'm just going to give it a good wipe down one more time and make sure all the excess oil and lube is off of the engine, and kind of get all the dust that I can off of this. We'll put it back together. We'll give it another good run on the train table, and get it packaged up and sent back.